Hello, hello. Welcome to our final part of Proverbs. Alright, we are now beginning our final part of Proverbs, Proverbs part 5. And we are going to wrap this up. Again, I did say it is communicating with the same themes that we had just spoke about moments ago. And again, I would like to remind you too that even going through Proverbs, and as we remember much of the Old Testament, how difficult it was to get through and how difficult it was to read. The Bible is a beautiful book to learn and understand and study. And when it comes to doing these study events here on Facebook, I told you it's a bit of a challenge, right, to be able to talk about certain things, certain topics, certain themes, maybe a little bit off-putting. It's a little difficult to really read this and examine yourself and do kind of an introspective moment, especially if you're trying to present it in front of other people. But really, if I didn't have this outlet, it would be very, very hard for me to just sit and study and read on my own time. Again, it's like that accountability thing. So I just want to know that I acknowledge that the Bible is difficult and it's hard to just sit with and read and study and understand, and that I personally appreciate this outlet for me to be able to just, have something to keep me accountable. And if it's helping people or if it's encouraging people to do some of their own research and to gain some more understanding or wisdom, I really do see the benefit in that as well. But it's even nice for me to go back, kind of like a digital diary entry, to go back and listen and understand even the words that I said then, am I applying them now, and how to keep that up and how to keep working. So I appreciate you guys. Again, I know it's not easy. Okay, the Bible is, as much as it's painted in this universal, right, oneness and this universal light, it's very difficult. It's not an easy book to get through and to read and to agree with. Sometimes it's even a little bit hard to associate ourselves with. But with that, we're going on to more of the Proverbs wisdom. Again, this is our final part, and there's a quote here. All right, it's more of a little clickbaity quote. We have talked about the importance of children taking care of their parents in their old age. And this is kind of giving us the opposite reflection, right? Mothers of large families who claim to common sense will find a tiger, well repay the trouble and expense. So it's a bit irreverent, I would say. We're going to probably stop with these quotes soon. And we've read a lot of these before and we are familiar with them. In this case, it's a bit irreverent. And it's a nursery rhyme. It's meant to be a nursery rhyme, beckoning the tiger, right, to take some of the mother's workload off of her hands. All right, that is not the case really in this next section. We are still focusing on a child's relationship to their parents, keeping their parents in honor, keeping their parents proud. And to do that, we have here in chapter 30 the sayings of Agur, son of Jakeh. Looking this individual up, the name doesn't sound familiar. We went through all of the kings in 1st and 2nd Kings and 1st and 2nd Chronicles, so we're not familiar with this person being a king of Judah or a king of Israel. This person is likely an Arabian king, perhaps a Gentile, some sources say. It's not, his lineage is not traceable. We don't know who this individual is for sure. Despite everybody reading the Bible and understanding, but this is the utterance from this individual here, most likely from northern Arabia. But here we have 2 things I ask of you, Lord. Do not refuse me before I die. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. So pausing here, right? We talked about, right, as we enter our old age, what is important, right? To be accepted, right, before the Lord, be accepted to enter the kingdom is a hope and a dream and a wish and a very real circumstance that we all hope to obtain. Is very, very important, and that we will all obtain eventually. It says here, keep falsehood and lies far from me. In your old age, you do not want to be stressed. You don't want to be concerned about, falsehood and lies. It's not worth it. And then give me neither poverty or riches. Really, the only thing that matters before the unavoidable happens, right? Death. We don't care about whether we are rich or poor or anything like that. We just care about feeling well in our hearts, feeling the well-being and the surety of the afterlife. And it's only necessary to just keep me alive enough so I can reach the Lord's forgiveness and reach the afterlife in a successful and pain-free way, right? Then we're going on here. We have, going along with our last theme, the eye that mocks a father, that scorns an aged mother, will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley, will be eaten by the vultures. All right, so another warning, right? Definitely, definitely, definitely honor your parents. Honor your parents. It doesn't matter what kind of tumultuous relationship that you may claim that you've experienced, or they may claim that they've experienced. Make sure it is always repaired, and that love, that filial love, always, always remains. It's very, very crucial. Yes, because the outcome, on the other hand, is not good. It says here, okay? I don't need to repeat that. We have here, 4 things on earth are small, yet they are extremely wise. Ants are creatures of little strength, yet they store up their food in the summer. Hyraxes are creatures of little power, yet they make their homes in the crags. Locusts have no king, yet they can advance together in ranks. Lizards can be caught with the hand, yet it is found in kings' palaces. So interesting little part. We've talked a lot about ants. Solomon has considered a lot about ants and their wisdom, right, as being these tiny little creatures. It's been mentioned before. We read it once before. So what exactly is the significance, right? It might just be that everything, right, every living being, every non-living being is extremely, extremely important to every cycle, every life cycle, and every continuation of our perceived reality. So don't discount, right, anything in your surroundings. Excuse me. The attention. We're almost done. Come. Don't be. Don't discount anything in your perceived reality. It's all important. It all serves a purpose. Again, we talked about even killing, right, the smallest creature, like a nasty insect or something like that, shakes the staff of life, right? Trembles, right? The heavens tremble when something like that happens, because everything has a purpose, everything is important. So hold life sacred as well. That goes with our last themes. Hold life in general sacred. And what is a hyrax? I did have to look this up. It's like kind of like a prairie dog / guinea pig. It has a cute little bear face. Don't really hear about this term anymore, but they're not extinct. They are still a living animal. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, now we're going into chapter 31, which is the sayings of King Lemuel. And this is an inspired utterance his mother taught him. Looking up again, King Lemuel does not sound familiar, but some scholars are recommending that this was another name for Solomon. Yes, leaving it at that. This is what his mother was telling King Lemuel. She says, "It is not for kings, Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine. It is not for rulers to crave beer. Let beer be for those who are perishing, wine for those who are in anguish. Let them drink and forget their poverty, and remember their misery no more." So this was interesting when I read it. I just had recorded let them drink and forget their poverty and remember misery no more. And I was thinking in my head, this is an interesting perspective because many kings would get drunk, and we read about all the time how the alcohol was associated with celebration and kingship and wealth, right? But no, she's advising Lemuel a very, very important factor that in this sense, right, the drink is a medicine. Okay, it's not for everybody. It's for those who are sick and in anguish or, on their last leg, which is interesting because alcohol is, of course, an antiseptic as well. Is that the right word? It's an antiseptic, so it's actually used for very specific purposes. Of course, in Islam, drinking at all, any alcohol, any really fermented anything, is haram. It's not permissible. So keeping that in mind as well. So, going on, she also recommends a wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. And, also thinking about a woman, right, of noble character, what does she do? She works. Even if it's in the home, even if it's doing just things around the home, but it does say she works hard. She works vigorously. She is strong. She is well prepared to do anything that is set in front of her, very equipped and adept at handling anything that is come about. And that's awesome, right? That's awesome that this is the wife of noble character, because I'm sure many of the women listening, or the women in my life I know for sure, can certainly relate. We work hard. We work hard, does not stop. Does not matter the time frame. Hopefully in our older age we have our lovely children to take care of us with love. But it really does not stop. So, very good. Arms are strong for her task. If you want to read that remainder of chapter 31, there's more about a wife of noble character. But this is it. I thought this was great because it did really tie in a lot of what we were saying, right? Duties of a husband, duties of a wife, duties of a child, right? Wisdom for all those, right? The mother, the son, the child. Wisdom for everybody. So, great. This is Proverbs. Some of it was a little bit more tumultuous to get through, but I appreciate you guys listening. I can't breathe. I don't know what's going on. It's not this, because this is loose enough. It's like shortness of breath. Sorry, you guys. I'm being a little dramatic. Appreciate you guys listening. Have a good rest of your day. God bless you. I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.